The clothing includes a skirt, a belt and a coat. Among these, the belt comes in black and red varieties. Start by making the skirt. The skirt is divided into the main piece and the decoration. The main piece is completed through crocheting. The remaining fabric and decorations are collectively referred to as the decorative part of the skirt. The main piece of the skirt begins with the foundation chain. Work back and forth from the foundation chain. When you reach the 14th round, join with a slip stitch to begin crocheting in rounds. After completing, sew together the back seam. The new stitches used include skip, double crochet, DC 2-in-1. Please watch as I demonstrate. In the chart, H+ number indicates the row number. First, take out the corresponding color of yarn. Leave a tail of about 20 centimeters. Start with a chain. Chain the number of stitches specified in the chart. Here, I have already completed. Now, let's work on the first row. Go back to the second to last stitch. Pick up the top loop of the chains. Make one single crochet. Continue working single crochets evenly. This completes the first row. Now, let's work on the second row. Start with one chain as the turning chain. Turn the piece counterclockwise. Note that this turning chain does not count as a stitch. Continue working single crochets evenly. This completes the second row. For the third and fourth rows, work back and forth in single crochets evenly. At the beginning of each row, start with one chain as the turning chain. Just finish it as shown. After completing the fourth row, I'll use a small sample to teach you how to count rows. Place the starting yarn tail on the left side. The odd-numbered rows show the right side texture of single crochets, which appear as cross-stitched single crochets. The even-numbered rows show the wrong side texture, with a horizontal line running across the top. Alternate between the right and wrong sides to count the rows. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the method for counting rows. When working back and forth, I will now demonstrate row 5. Make one turning chain to start. Turn the piece counterclockwise. Crochet 6 single crochets first. In the chart, K indicates skipping one stitch without crocheting. Continue crocheting single crochets. After completing the corresponding number of stitches, continue to skip one stitch without crocheting. Crochet the remaining 6 single crochets in the second single crochet from the left. This completes row 5. For rows 6 through 8, work back and forth evenly. After completing row 8, then move on to row 9. Start with one chain. Crochet 6 single crochets first. Skip one stitch without crocheting. Continue crocheting single crochets. Skip another stitch without crocheting. Finish the remaining single crochets. This completes row 9. For rows 10 through 12, crochet single crochets evenly. Just continue to complete them. Look everyone. This is the first 12 rows looks like after completing. Now move on to row 13. Pay attention, start with 3 turning chains. Turn the piece counterclockwise. These 3 chains count as 1 double crochet. This serves as the turning chain for the double crochet. It corresponds to the last single crochet of the previous row. First, insert the hook into the left single crochet. Work 1 double crochet. Then continue to insert the hook into each single crochet. Complete the remaining 4 double crochets. After completing the double crochets, there is a DC 2 in 1. That means making 2 double crochets in the same stitch. This completes the DC 2 in 1. Continue according to the chart, 1 stitch to another, crocheting the corresponding number of double crochets. Once finished, make another DC 2 in 1. Finally, complete the remaining double crochets. After completing, since from the next round, you need to work in rounds to crochet the hem of the skirt. Here you should join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. Insert the hook into the third chain from the turning chain. Work 1 slip stitch. This way. Row 13 is now completed. Next, work round 14. Start with 3 beginning chains. The beginning chain also counts as 1 double crochet, then continue crocheting according to the chart. Note: the double crochets here should be worked into the double crochets of the previous row. The stitches in the parentheses in the chart are identical to the previous ones, indicating a repeat of the stitches. 3 double crochets. 1 DC 2 in 1. This completes one group of stitches within the parentheses. Outside the parentheses, it's times 6. This means you need to repeat this group 6 times. After completing, join with a slip stitch into the beginning chain. Gently pull to tighten the slip stitch. Round 14 is now completed. The stitches for rounds 15 to 31 are relatively simple. Have been demonstrated before? Please follow the chart to complete them. Pay attention not to adjust the positions for increasing or decreasing stitches. At the beginning of each round, you need to start with 3 chains. At the end, always join with a slip stitch. This demonstration focuses on stitches only. The specific number of stitches and rows are not referenced here. Follow the chart for accuracy. After completing round 31, secure it with 1 chain. Leave about 10 centimeters of yarn tail and cut off. Use a darning needle to weave in the yarn tail. When weaving in the yarn tail, you can pass the needle back and forth a few times like this to prevent it from coming loose. Finally, cut the excess yarn tail. Next, take out the doll's body. Put the dress on the body. The opening for the upper body is at the back. Now, insert the needle into the long yarn tail that was left when starting. Sew the back symmetrically like this. While sewing, be mindful not to sew it out of alignment. When you reach the last stitch, pass the needle through a few more times like this. To weave the yarn tail within the stitches. Go back and forth one more time. Then cut any excess yarn tail. Up to this point, the main piece of the skirt is completed. Next, we'll work on the decorations of the skirt. Let's first take a look at the finished product. The decorations include the front chest decoration, the top, the skirt hem, and the bow. First, we'll make the front chest decoration and the top. Then, we'll work on the skirt hem and the bow on the back. Please watch as I demonstrate. Take out the red fabric from the kit. Compare it with the upper part of the skirt. Cut out a trapezoid shape like this one. I've already cut this one in advance. After you've cut yours, use a lighter to slightly cinch the edges. Apply glue on the wrong side of the fabric. Stick it right in the middle of the dress. Pay attention. The top edge should align with the edge of the piece. Next, take out the widest tulle ribbon from the kit. Cut out a length of about 15 centimeters. Thread a sewing needle with thread. Tie a knot at the end. Spread your arms. Wrap the tulle ribbon around your arm like this. Keeping the lengths of tulle ribbon in the front and back roughly aligned. Try to keep the tulle ribbon on the front side vertical. The tulle ribbon on the wrong side can cross to the diagonal back. Pinch the underarm position with your left hand. Pick up 2 layers of the tulle ribbon, like this, and thread the needle through. To prevent the yarn tail from coming loose, you can pass it through the middle of this sewing thread. Slightly tighten the yarn tail. Next, sew by picking up stitches along the edge of the arm line. When you sew, be mindful not to sew too close to the arm. Leave a little bit of distance. Try to make the stitches as tight as possible to prevent the sleeve from unraveling when you turn it later. Sew and tidy up as you go. When you sew to the underarm position, you can take a couple of extra stitches. Turn the piece and continue sewing along the side waist. After sewing, check again if the underarm area fits well with the body front and back. Finally, tie off and secure. Trim the yarn tail. That's it for one sleeve. Use scissors now. Trim away any excess tulle ribbon at the underarm. Be mindful to cut slightly away from the seam. After trimming, use a lighter to gently cinch the edge to prevent the tulle ribbon from unraveling. Finally, turn the sleeve inside out. You can use tweezers to help. Be careful not to pull too hard. Note that we just sewed the sleeve on the left side of the toy. When we turn it right side out, it will fit better on the right side. This completes the right sleeve. Follow the same method to complete the left sleeve as well. At this point, we should sew the sleeve on the right arm of the toy. Now put both sleeves onto the body of the doll. Adjust the position. Like this. With the fronts lined up as much as possible. Cross at the back. And secure it slightly with pins. Continue sewing and threading. Make a double knot. Along the waist position. Pick up strands, and sew onto the skirt. When sewing, you can use the crochet pattern of the skirt as a guide. This makes it less likely to sew crooked. After sewing, tie a double knot to secure. Remove the pins. Hide the yarn tail inside the body. Now, use scissors to trim the excess tulle ribbon neatly. Leave a little bit slightly, like this. Everyone, look! The top is now complete. Next, we will make the skirt hem. Take out the chiffon yarn with silver threads from the kit. Cut out a rectangular piece of fabric that is about 30 centimeters long and about 20 centimeters wide. I have prepared this part in advance. When cutting, pay attention to the pattern of the silver threads. They are lined parallel to the short side. The actual dimensions should still be compared with your actual project. Thread the sewing needle. Tie a knot. Fold the long edge over by about 1 centimeter. Pass the needle through evenly, up and down, like this. After threading completely, wrap it around the waist. Pay attention. Place the folded side on the inner side. When sewing, position the pleats of the skirt at the sides and back of the waist. Try to keep the front as smooth as possible. Start stitching from the middle of the back. As you sew, tidy up the hem. Ensure that the hem can lie flat on the skirt. When you reach the starting point at the back, continue sewing a few more stitches to ensure the hem overlaps completely. If there is excess fabric here, simply cut the thread. Pull out the thread. And trim the excess fabric. You can trim along the silver thread for accuracy, to avoid mistakes. At this point, tie a double knot with the beginning and ending thread. Cut the thread. Then trim off the excess chiffon fabric. Try to trim it as evenly as possible. The hem should be about 1 centimeter longer than the main piece of the dress. Since I didn't continue crocheting for this sample, you can refer to the hem length for trimming. This is what it looks like after trimming. Similarly, use a lighter to lightly singe the edge of the hem. And that completes the hem. Next, I'll demonstrate how to make a bow. Take the wide chiffon ribbon. Hold it by the short side. Place your index finger like this. Wrap it around your index finger once. Tuck this side over. Hold the two ends of the chiffon ribbon with your palm. Hook the sides of the bow with your thumbs. Gently pull them like this. Gradually adjust the size of the bow. And the bow is tied. Apply glue to the wrong side of the bow. Attach it to the crossing point on the back of the body. Insert a pin to secure it. Wait for the glue to dry completely. Then fold the chiffon ribbon in half. Trim it into a pointed shape like this for the bow's tips. After trimming, use a lighter to singe the edges slightly. Finally, remove the pin. And the bow is completed. Next, take out the metal embellishment from the kit. Gently bend it to create an arc. Apply glue. Stick it in the middle of the top. That concludes the explanation for the skirt section. Now I'll demonstrate the black waist belt. The crocheted sections consist of 3 pieces. Each needs to be edged with gold thread. The decorations include ribbons and rhinestones. Now, please watch as I demonstrate. First, we'll crochet piece 1. For your better visibility, I will use a different color yarn here. The stitch for piece 1 is simple. Start with a foundation chain. Chain the corresponding number of stitches. After completing, go back to the second chain from the hook. Work 1 single crochet in each stitch. For rows 2 to 4 of piece 1, work single crochets back and forth evenly. The stitch pattern is easy, just complete it. After finishing the last stitch, secure with 1 chain. Pull up the loop and cut the yarn. As you can see, this is the completed piece looks like. Next, take 1 strand of gold yarn. On the top and bottom edges of the piece, work single crochets evenly for decoration. Insert the hook, pull through the gold yarn, make 1 chain. The turning chain doesn't count as 1 stitch. Continue with 1 single crochet in the same stitch. Then work single crochets sequentially. Weave the starting tail of the yarn. After weaving the starting tail of the yarn, slightly tighten it. Then cut off the excess. Continue crocheting. When crocheting, don't make the single crochets too tight. Try to keep the edge flat. There are a total of 29 single crochets on this side. After completing, secure with one chain. Cut the yarn. Thread it through a darning needle, and weave in the yarn tail. This completes one side of the gold edge. For the other side, follow the same method. And continue crocheting. Make sure both sides of the gold edge are right side facing up. After completing, secure with one chain. Weave in the yarn tail. At this point, weave in the beginning yarn tails from both sides. Finally, trim off all excess yarn tails. Here's the piece 1 looks like. Set it aside for later use. Next, I'll demonstrate the piece 2. Start at the 13th stitch on any side of piece 1. Make 1 chain. Work 4 single crochets. Pay attention to these 4 single crochets. These are worked into the gold edge of the previous row's single crochets. After completing, pull tight and trim the beginning yarn tail. Make 1 chain. Turn the piece counterclockwise. Continue to follow the chart, working 4 single crochets evenly. Make another 1 chain. Turn the piece counterclockwise and work single crochets. Work 11 rows of single crochets here. I have already completed 3 rows. Continue to complete all the remaining rows of single crochets. After completing, secure with 1 chain. Cut the yarn. Once finished, take a strand of gold yarn and crochet a round of single crochets for the gold edge decoration. Insert the hook into the first hole of the single crochet. Draw the gold yarn through. Make 1 chain. Note that the insertion point is on this single crochet. Don't forget to weave the yarn tail. Work through the holes like this, drawing out each stitch. When you reach the corner, you can add an extra single crochet in the same hole. Do the same on this side, adding an extra single crochet in the same hole. While crocheting here, make sure to weave the ending yarn tail. Continue crocheting single crochets. After a few stitches, place it behind and continue crocheting. After completing the last stitch, slip stitch into this hole. Pull up the loop and break the yarn. Finally, thread the yarn tail through a darning needle and weave it in. Make sure to gently tighten the yarn tail that was woven. Then cut the yarn. This completes piece 2. Next, continue to crochet piece 3. Start with a double magic ring. First, wrap the yarn twice around your finger like this. Pinch the loop. Hold the yarn with your fingers. And work 1 chain to start. The beginning chain does not count as a stitch. It needs to be tightened. Then work 2 half double crochets. Yarn over. 1, 2. Do not loosen your left fingers. Work 1 slip stitch. Tighten the slip stitch. Then work 2 chains. Continue with 2 double crochets. Yarn over. Then work 1 more double crochet. After completing 2 double crochets, work 2 more chains. Finish with a slip stitch. Slightly tighten. Continue with 2 half double crochets. After completing, work 1 slip stitch. Then work 2 chains. Work 2 double crochets. Follow with 2 more chains. Join with a slip stitch. That completes this section. Finally, secure with 1 chain. Pull up a large loop and cut the yarn. Tighten the yarn tail. Turn to the wrong side. Give a gentle tug on this yarn tail. Tighten the small loop. Pull tight the magic ring. Then pull again on this yarn tail. Tighten the loop. This brings out the shape of piece 3. Thread the darning needle and weave in the ending yarn tail. Trim any excess yarn tails. Take a strand of gold yarn. Follow along the edge of piece 3. Work a round of slip stitches for decoration. Start with a slip stitch at any position. There are no special requirements for the slip stitches. Just work a round of slip stitches around this edge. When you reach the last slip stitch, enlarge the loop. Cut off the yarn. Thread it through a darning needle. Pass the darning needle through the braid formed by the first slip stitch. Then pass it back through the hole of the last slip stitch. Finally, on the wrong side, tie a double knot with the beginning and ending yarn tails. Trim the yarn. Piece 3 is now completed. Finally, take out the waist belt that was crocheted earlier. Take out the same color yarn. Crochet a button loop on the left end of piece 1. Insert the hook at any position in the middle. Draw the yarn through. Make 6 chains. After completing, return to the starting point. Work 1 slip stitch to secure. Enlarge the loop. Cut the yarn. Finally, tie a double knot with both yarn tails to secure. Use a darning needle to weave in the yarn tails. Cut the yarn. This completes the demonstration of the crocheted part of the waist belt. Next, I will explain the decorations of the waist belt. Start by taking a copper bead. Thread a sewing needle with gold thread. Sew it through the hole in the middle of piece 3. Sew a few extra times to prevent it from coming loose. Finish with a double knot to secure. Trim off any excess tail. Apply glue on the wrong side. Adhere piece 3 securely. Next, I will show you how to sew the ribbon. Prepare the ribbons by cutting them to the required length beforehand. Each ribbon should be about 15 centimeters long. 3 blue ribbons with gold edges. 2 pink ones. 2 purple ones. And 2 multicolored ones. Remember to use a lighter to singe the ends of each ribbon to prevent fraying. I've already done this in advance. Next, for the actual project, take a piece of black lace yarn and separate the strands. Here, for convenience in watching, I will use a different color to sew. Thread the yarn needle. Take out the waist belt. First, unfold the waist belt like this. On the back side, right in the middle. Sew on a blue ribbon. Make sure it's perfectly centered on the front side. So by picking up strands like this, check the position on the front side. After sewing, take a pink ribbon. Slightly overlap it on the blue ribbon. Continue sewing. Then take a colorful ribbon. Similarly, overlap it on the pink ribbon. Next, take a wide blue ribbon. Sew it using the same method. Finally, sew a purple ribbon along the edge. After sewing, it should align perfectly with the edge of the waist belt. Tie a knot to secure it. Hide the yarn tail. Break the yarn. This completes one side of the sewing. Follow the same method for the other side. Sew the ribbons in the same way. Pay attention to maintaining symmetry with the left side. Start by sewing the pink ribbon. Then sew the colorful ribbon. After that, sew the wide blue ribbon. Finally, sew the purple ribbon. Tie a knot to secure. Weave in the ends and break the yarn. This is what it looks like with both sides of the ribbon sewn. After sewing the ribbons, you need to make the decorations for the front side. Let's take a look at the finished product. Follow this method. Use glue to attach the rhinestones to the front of the belt. Pay attention to the method. 2 small ones, with a large one in the middle. A clear one on the front of the belt. And a yellow one here. After gluing them, sew a clear button on the right side. The process is simple, so I won't demonstrate each step. You can complete it on your own. Next, I'll explain the method for making the red belt. The stitch is relatively simple. First, follow the chart to complete the crocheted section of the belt. This is what it looks like after crocheting. The length of the belt can be adjusted based on the dimensions of your doll. Adjust the total stitches as needed. Here, I will mainly explain the method for making the ribbon. Take out the 0.2 cm wide red satin ribbon from the kit. Cut 8 pieces, each about 20 centimeters long, and set them aside. Now, let's look at the back side of the finished product. Sew the ribbons evenly divided on the back of the belt. Start by tying the middle 6 pieces into pairs. Leave the 2 strands on each side untouched. There will be a total of 3 knots. After tying the first set of knots, proceed to tie the second set of knots. Here, tie adjacent pairs together. This results in a total of 4 knots. After completing the knots, you need to thread through transparent wool beads. I will demonstrate the method for threading the beads separately. These beads are threaded onto 2 strands of the satin ribbon. First, overlap the 2 strands of satin ribbon. Use scissors to cut out a pointed shape. Burn the tip slightly with a lighter. This makes the end hard. This way, it can be threaded through easily. After threading the beads, tie another knot on each strand. After tying the knots, tie a small bow. Slightly tighten the bow. Pull it to make it smaller. The making method of the ribbon has been explained. Finally, stick all the decorative rhinestones on the front side of the belt. In the very middle, there is one heart-shaped rhinestone. On each side, there are 3 small rhinestones. Sew a button on the other end of the buckle. That concludes the explanation for the red belt. Next, let me explain the making method of the coat. First, take out the white chiffon fabric. Cut it according to the coat pattern. Pay attention to align the silver stripe with the long edge of the pattern. Since the fabric is quite light, you can use weights to hold it down for easier cutting. Here's what it looks like after cutting. Next, fold the fabric in half like this. You can see that the left and right sides are the sleeves. The middle part is the main body of the coat. Use sewing thread to sew along the cuff positions on both sides, all the way down to the bottom of the main body like this. Try to keep the stitches tight and neat while sewing. Here's what it looks like after sewing. Don't forget to use a lighter to cinch all the edges. Be careful not to burn the fabric while doing this. Once done, turn the sleeves and the body of the coat inside out. Put it on the doll. Finally, at the sides of the waist area, sew on the finest white chiffon ribbon as ties. That completes the coat.